bringing metal to the masses. OnslaughtRadio.com.
This is Onslaught Radio. I'm Natalie, and I am backstage at the O2 Academy in Islington, where I'm talking to the guys from ALESTORM. Guys, can you introduce yourselves, please?
I'm Elliot. I'm the new live keyboard player.
I'm Gareth. I'm the bass player of ALESTORM.
Awesome. And how's the tour been going so far? You're here in London tonight. What's it been like for you up until this point?
It's been absolutely outstanding, really. This is a sold-out show, and there was a whole host of sold-out shows before this one, so it's just been brilliant from the start. Like, everyone's cool, the other bands are cool, the crowds have been awesome. Hasn't really been a bad night, really. Well, maybe one, but yeah.
Never speak about again.
Yeah, we don't talk about Stoke, and yeah, it's been absolutely perfect.
Okay, you know this is going to open up, so what happened at Stoke?
Just, you know.
There was a man who owned a pub who thought he'd put on a band, and it was just slightly stressful.
But we have things like lights and equipment, and
he didn't realise you can't run a whole gig from your house electricity, and you know things went down, lights went off
a lot, and then they all passed out at the bar and left us to help ourselves to the bar.
Instead of going to the supermarket and buying us a few crates of beer, they just thought it'd be much easier to open the bar for us, and probably lost.
Foolish.
Which is very silly.
Foolish.
Yeah.
Bad idea then. Awesome. So you guys technically have been around for quite a long time. I think it's sort of 2004-ish when you started as your previous named band. Yeah. And then sort of you were signed in 2007. And then 2009 is kind of where, from 2009 up until now, is where you've kind of been manic. So can you tell me a bit about what's kind of happened in the past couple of years? Give us a bit of background and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been very, very quick. But yeah, just touring constantly, really, and then an album in the middle of it all. Yeah, we've been to America a whole bunch of times, like 3 times, and now I've been to Australia twice, and we've played every festival under the sun, and it's just been absolutely crazy. And it's carrying on the same way. We've been booked for a whole load of stuff this year as well, and yeah, so it's just gonna more and more stuff all the time, and we never get to sit down except for now.
Doing interviews.
Doing interviews, yeah.
And obviously you guys had a really interesting start this year. I believe you were doing the 70,000 tons of metal. How was that for you?
That was what. Do you want to feel this one? Oh, sorry, you didn't go.
If it helps, I didn't get to go either, so, you know.
Cool, I'm sorry. That's really cool.
So as a pirate metal band, how did it feel being on a ship, you know, and doing it?
I'm pretty sure we were only asked for the gimmick factor, but that's fine by me. That's if you're gonna let me go on a cruise ship in the Caribbean for free, then yeah, I'm happy with that. It was amazing. People always ask me about it, and just words can't sum it up, really. You know, it's like, oh yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I had a really nice time. It was outstanding. You know, you can imagine yourself. I'd like to go again next year, but it's really expensive.
Yeah. Did you make anyone walk the plank? I've been told to ask this, so...
That's a bit barbaric, don't you think? I'm actually surprised no one fell in. Like, you know the way you go to metal festivals, you go to, like, Wacken or something like that, and there's always just some dude lying in a corner covered in puke. There was none of that. It was weird, even though everyone was disgracefully drunk the whole time. But nobody fell in, and I certainly didn't make anyone walk the plank. I'd go to jail.
You probably would, because I think they'd probably die. But isn't the water quite warm? Because it must have been really nice to be performing actually in somewhere that's quite warm, especially with the weather you get over here.
Yeah, it was cool. It was weird being on stage and, like, you know, because we did one gig in, like, a club downstairs, and then we did one gig up on the deck. And the gig up on the deck was ridiculous. You know, you're standing there and you didn't ever feel like you're on a boat because it is so big. It was just like this is now, you know, but you could see the water kind of. It was bizarre.
Awesome, that's cool. And I understand straight after this tour, sorry, I keep touching your leg. I'm really sorry. Well, if you want him touching your leg instead, that's fair.
Yeah.
You're going to have to change before you go out on stage. I understand you're going to America after this again.
That's correct.
And sort of how long are you there for, do you know?
How about you answer this one?
I'm not going either.
You don't really get to do much, do you?
I have to go to university, and it's a whole stupid visa problem, and, you know, short notice.
But we're taking them to America at the end of the year.
As of, like, the end of summer, I should be doing everything, so...
He's only a new addition anyway, so it's like whenever we can get him, it's really, really awesome. And then if we don't, we can cope, but it's not as awesome. But come towards the end of the year, I guess he'll be with us all the time, which would be nice.
Awesome. And we have a question from one of our listeners. Obviously, you spoke about some of the places you've been, sort of Australia and America. This question was from Nicholas in South Africa, and he said, is there any...
South Africa.
Yes.
You make up a name
No, really. I actually grew up in South Africa, so we have quite a lot of listeners out there. So, but yeah, so he said, is there any chance of a South African tour anytime soon?
I've heard it mentioned once ever. I don't really know. Do bands play in South Africa? They do?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Really? Well, I heard it mentioned once a while back by a manager, and then just thinking like, oh, that'd be cool, yeah. But it's one of those things that I guess it'll happen eventually, but we have no plans for that.
Really big logistical thing and security thing and that kind of thing.
Security is the main thing in South Africa, but it has been mentioned once, which means it, you know, might happen at some point, but no plans as of yet. Oh.
And we did have just one other question from another person from Medway, asking if you've got any UK summer tours, UK summer festivals in the pipeline this year.
This is what's really bothering me, and everyone's been asking me this today, because I would love to. You know, last year we did Sonosphere, which was absolutely outstanding, and because of the success of this UK tour, we're kind of wanting to do, well, Bloodstock or Download, really, it's the only two left, but I don't think there's anything on the cards yet, and I want to. I'll do Bloodstock, that'd be nice.
Well, the last time I saw you live was Bloodstock 2008. So it would be good if you could do a Bloodstock or something, but...
They'd want us to play. I've not heard anything. Have you heard anything?
I've not heard anything. Hey.
Okay, so it could potentially be in the pipeline, but not yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that because they'll see how well this UK tour went and maybe go, oh, right, okay, let's ask them. But as of yet, nothing.
Well, you sold out most of the venues this time round, haven't you?
A bunch of sell-out shows, yeah, which has been fantastic. And today was the biggest surprise. You know, it's one thing selling out a small pub in Southampton. It's a completely different thing selling out this venue. You know, there was literally only a few that weren't sold out. So, I don't know. I don't see why we shouldn't be playing a festival in the UK this year.
And finally...
I'm a bit insulted that we're not, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should go with that line. Just be like, come on.
Fuck you.
And finally, just, is there anywhere that you kind of haven't toured yet that would be your dream to go to, that you'd really love to go to?
Japan.
You haven't done Japan?
No, not the... You sound so disappointed.
Yeah, because I can kind of see ALESTORM in Japan.
Because we're silly and they like silly things. Yeah, I can see it.
If you want to put it that way, yeah.
Absolutely, no, 100%. But it's one of those places that you always see, like, such and such live in Japan, and they're playing, you know, even Anvil went down well in Japan, so, like, I'd love to go there, but might happen this year. Hope so. That's not the dream, I don't know. Just everywhere. I want to go everywhere.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for talking to On Stop Radio, guys.